Hi friends, welcome back. So, question for you. What would it feel like to lose $100 billion? You heard that correctly, 100 billion. What would it feel like to lose that amount of money? Well, we're about to find out because Elon Musk is facing that, and it could actually even be more. Let's go through the headlines. And guys, this is the craziest story that I have ever seen, perhaps. It says here, judge voids Elon Musk 56 billion Tesla compensation shares slide. That's a lot of money, guys. And I can't say it any other way. That's a lot of money. I'd be happy with a billion, let alone 56 billion. Moreover, don't forget about this. Elon Musk completes $44 billion deal to own Twitter. So let's do the math together. $56 billion compensation over at Tesla plus $44 billion to get Twitter. That is $100 billion that you stand to lose. It is crazy amounts of money. Now, for those of you who haven't been following this crazy story, we've been talking about this the last year or so. Actually, a couple of years. This is October 4th, this is dated. But he was forced to buy Twitter, and essentially what started out as a joke ended up being a joke on him. And unfortunately, this is just how it is. There's a lot of people out there that are going to get hurt by this stuff because, perfectly frank, there's a lot of people who follow this guy, love this guy, and there's nowhere to put it. They're sheep. And unfortunately, a lot of the pumpers are pumping this stuff up. You're down 52% as of recording on Tesla stock, another 3.85% in the after hours. And this is nuts. Okay, so what's going on here? So Musk tweeted out, never incorporate your company in the state of Delaware. Again, this is how he plays it. He's going to play victim on this one. Oh, I'm the victim of the system and stuff like that. And moreover, he's got a lot of fanboys and fangirls supporting him. The defense are going to say is that this is all political. It's all Biden's fault. And you got his fans tweeting out this kind of stuff, right? Change my diaper according to Biden. Or another one is saying, never trust someone with a degree from Harvard. I got appointed by a Democrat, right? Moreover, someone else is tweeting, this is what Musk has to say to the court of Delaware. F you. This is the kind of stuff that people tweet out. Moreover, we actually saw this headline the other day, and I pointed to you guys that I think this is one of the most important headlines recently, how essentially people, execs and board members are like, yo, I think perhaps Elon Musk is on drugs. And it kind of makes sense when you put it all together with, like, just imagine this. You're sitting in your, in your house and you're tweeting out, oh, I'm going to buy Twitter for $420 a share, right? Something like that. And then suddenly, people call you out on that, right? And, you tweet this thing out because you're on drugs. But the deal is, though, you are a CEO of a publicly traded company, and stuff that you say has consequences. You can't just make stuff up. Or funding secured, this kind of thing, when you're tweeting out and implying that you're taking the company private. Again, the things that you say have consequences, and I want to go through these things. I have to lay out the background so you can understand the stuff more fully. So it says here, the 2018 CEO pay package that Tesla granted Musk was the largest compensation plan in corporate history. So we're talking, yes, this is the craziest story. I mean, it's the largest in history, and made the Tesla and SpaceX boss a billionaire and the richest person on the planet. So it turns out, though, that some people have questioned and in fact sued whether or not his compensation package was too large. Now, there's really some interesting stuff here. You can see here he may not be the richest person out there. Moreover, actually, let me pull it up here. Yes. Where could he end up being? It says the ruling leaves the futures of Musk's fortune in limbo, worth some 51.1 billion. So we're getting different numbers on this. The headline at CNBC was 56. I've seen other headlines say 55, but I mean, what's a few billion when you got, hundreds of billions up there? But if he does end up losing that, it says here, without them, his net worth would drop to 154 billion. So he's still going to have money. He'll be the third richest, in case you guys are curious. And it's interesting that this compensation stuff has been coming up because it was just recently, a couple weeks ago, where he was saying, hey, give me more money or I'm going to take AI and robotics elsewhere, right? He wanted essentially 25% voting control. And I had wondered if he was on his way out and planning to leave Tesla. I've been mentioning that before. Now, this is something that's really quite interesting when you look at deep into this stuff. What is this lawsuit all about? So the way that it was designed could get Musk's mouth in trouble. And let me explain. So let's read through this and you guys can understand clearly kind of my point of view on this. It says, an investor named Richard Tornetta sued Musk and several Tesla directors in 2018, claiming Musk's pay package was unfair. While Tornetta held just 9 Tesla shares. She didn't have that much money into it, but he was a shareholder. The deal has been criticized by major pension fund, California State Teachers Retirement Plan, and proxy advisory firms who view the deal as too large. Here's the kind of details of the deal. The 2018 or Musk 2018 pay package gave him stock grants worth around 1% of Tesla's equity each time the company achieved one of 12 tranches of escalating operational and financial goals, right? So it's kind of like being a professional athlete where, you perform well, catch so many touchdowns, sell so many cars or whatever, you'll get more compensation essentially, right? Tornetta argued that the shareholders were not told how easily the goals would be achieved when they voted on the package. The thing that really comes to my mind immediately when I see this is that if you're basing someone's compensation on performance, and Musk has a tendency to overpromise, underdeliver, or just outright lie or just make up stuff, think about the issues involved with this. Again, like just for example, in the pro athlete thing, if my pay is tied to how many points I score, or how many touchdowns, or how many rebounds, or whatever, depending on the sport, right? I can see it on the field. This kind of stuff, so for example, let's just say it's tied to how many cars you sell, and it's interesting because we just talked about this yesterday. When the Tesla releases their numbers, they combine numbers of cars, so we don't actually know if, say, for example, which Musk likes to claim that the Tesla Y is the best-selling car in the world, but we actually don't know for sure because they combine their numbers, meaning that when they release numbers on this stuff, they fuzz it up because they combine the 3 and the Y together and then release some numbers. Or like, let's say his compensation is tied to, whether or not FSD works and he keeps promising it next year, etc. I think this stuff is really quite interesting. And then this person was claiming that it was too easy to achieve said goals. Moreover, this is the defense that Musk puts out. It's kind of interesting. It says here, Tesla's board argued in court filings that the pay package was needed to align Musk's incentives with shareholders and keep him focused on the company as it ramped up production of the Model 3. It argued that Musk did not receive any compensation other than stock options, that if Tesla had not achieved the targets in pay package, Musk would not have received any money. So that's the argument they're going to make, is that when you tie it to performance, you're going to perform better. Here's the key, though, and this is actually the Verge of this, and they did a really good job of showing who is on the board, because part of it is there conflict of interest on the board, meaning that, are they kind of giving more favor to Musk? These are the people on the board. So one, Elon Musk. So obviously he would vote for himself, well, of course. Then you have Antonio Gracia. So this says a member of the compensation committee and friend of Musk, who has amassed a great deal of wealth from investing in Musk companies as far back as PayPal. So again, a close associate to Musk. You also have James Murdoch on the board, another Musk buddy who vacationed with Musk across the globe. And then James Murdoch, I believe, is the son of Rupert Murdoch, is the Fox News guy. Moreover, you have Musk's brother, Kimball. And Musk and his brother were both selling a couple of years ago. I made videos about that saying, hey guys, when they're dumping tons of shares, it looks like the top. And yet the pumpers kept saying, no, this is just Musk and Kimball selling because they have too much. Or I can't remember what stupid arguments they were making, but it certainly appears to be the case that is indeed the top. Again, you're 50% down, or actually 50% plus down on Tesla stock. Who else is on the board? Ira N. Ren Press, one of the members of compensation committee, acknowledged to the court that his relationship with Elon and Kimball Musk had, quote, significant influence on his professional career. So as you guys can see, these are people all kind of in Musk's inner circle. Moreover, here you have Brad Buss, another member of the compensation committee, who, quote, owed 44% of his net worth to Musk entities. You also have Robin Denholm, a member of the compensation committee, whose compensation as a Tesla board chair was more money than she made from other sources. You have Linda Johnson Rice, who appears to have been truly independent. So it looks like they have one independent person. You also then have Steve Jurvetson, it says here, who had prolonged period of absence during this incident and was considered a major player by the judge. Interesting. So there's not other details on that person. So when I look at all this stuff together, and you got to take all the story together, I feel like this is going to go down in history as yep, this was the the end. They announced this crazy Cybertruck thing, and you had all these pumper people telling you, oh yeah, we're all gonna go buy a $120,000 truck. Then Musk is like, well, we got this Optimus thing, and this is just coming out yesterday, and it's just like a TV show Westworld, and this robot is going to be awesome. And the problem with this stuff is, guys, is that people, like, how can I say, they get really emotional over this stuff, which I understand, it's money. But for me, when I look at these kind of things, I just look at dollars and cents, and I think the easiest one to call out was the Twitter one, and this is why it's been so funny to talk about the story, because, like, say, okay, you're buying Twitter for 44 billion, and you have all these emotional people saying, oh, it's all about free speech, it's all about free speech, it's all about free speech, and I say, okay, great, if you really believe it's not about money and about free speech, then why doesn't he ever talk out about China? Right? And that's a very real thing. He does business in China, and he doesn't talk about China because he's interested in money and doing business there, of course. Moreover, regarding the Twitter situation, he had to borrow, I believe it was like 13 billion to buy this thing. And I mean, that's a lot of money. And it's funny because when you talk about these numbers, I think people don't realize how much money this really is. We're talking about billions. And obviously then people over at Wall Street and stuff like that want to get their money back. And so they start pumping up the stock. ARK Invest, they got a bunch of money in this stuff. They start pumping up the stock. And you have all of these influential people out pumping it up. But, at the end of the day, for me, this has always just been about numbers. It's not about politics. It's just about numbers. I wouldn't personally want to buy a company, talking about Twitter here, that is losing money and continues to lose money. Like when I see these kind of headlines, ad revenue of Musk X declined each month since takeover data, or loses nearly half the advertising revenue since Elon Musk takeover. The reason why I'm talking about the Twitter situation, because I never talk about free speech stuff. It's not really about that for me. It's I want to buy profitable businesses. I want to invest in profitable companies. Moreover, when you talk about, say, the compensation package thing, and you see who's on the board, and you're like, okay, the judge is even like, yo, this looks like was done unfairly, not in the interest of shareholders, and moreover, it seems to be the largest in history and by a large margin. I mean, we're talking about quite a lot of money, but I feel like this whole thing is just based on getting certain people rich, which I understand. We all want money, of course, but at expense of who? And again, there's going to be a lot of people hurt on this thing because Tesla stock is down, and it's going to be a tough path forward. I personally think Musk is on his way out the door. I just don't see any other way through it or out of it, or however you want to say it. It's obvious to me. But again, this is why I showed you this guy's stuff before, where for some people, they think this is all politically driven and stuff like that. And to Musk's credit, he's able to play his fanboys and fangirls and garner support. I mean, to his credit, he's able to do that. But I think it's all just a smoke and mirrors clown show. And that's my honest opinion on this stuff. I just look at numbers, and, you can believe what you like. And I'd love to hear your opinion on this stuff. This is crazy news, though, because just imagine losing $100 billion. We're talking about real money here. And that's it. So love to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you next video.